We're going to do some exercises for your rotator cuff. The rotator cuff helps us to rotate the arm, just like it sounds, but it also helps with the joint health. When those muscles are working well, they help to kind of suction this upper arm bone into the right spot and allow a nice glide in the joint. If one of those muscles of the rotator cuff, or even several of them, are weak, then we kind of have a sloppy connection there, and that can lead to either excess movement that might lead to more wear and tear, or dysfunction, or injury down the line. So we want to keep them healthy. Think of doing these exercises like taking your vitamins. They fill in the gaps so we have some nice stability at the base layer of the joint. We're going to work with a light resistance band and tie it to an anchor at elbow height. So my elbow, wrist, and the anchor are all going to be roughly in a row. As we do all of these exercises for your rotator cuff, we need to keep a neutral spine, especially thinking about the rib cage in this case. So if I'm setting up and doing my rotator cuff movement, I want to feel like I'm vertical. If I'm slumped, my shoulder doesn't have the same range of motion, and I'm not going to access those muscles quite the same. The same would be true if I'm in a back bend. Then my shoulder blades are not on a smooth surface. They want to be smoothly against that rib cage so we can feel the muscles on the back of the shoulder get to work. With our external rotation, I'm using my arm that's furthest away from the anchor, and I'm pulling away from my midline being nose, heart, belly button, pubic bone. That's the center of me. And then I come back to the midline. My elbow is going to stay steady. It might be useful to put something underneath that elbow to keep it steady. So that could be my hand reminding it to stay steady, or I could use a sock or a towel or something there where I can just have a light pressure there so that when I pull out, this elbow is going to stay in the same spot. It's simply going to rotate, because that's all we're doing is rotating here. We're going to press into the band or pull the band, feeling the elbow stay stationary as I simply pivot this upper arm bone. One mistake I commonly see is people pull and just let it go back. So we want to be working into the tension, pause. You can feel that nice strong contraction on the back of the shoulder blade. And as I come back, I'm going to have those muscles still loaded, but now they're lengthening under load. So they get the opportunity to get stronger in both directions. So we're going to pull, pause, that's our concentric. And here we slowly bring it back. That's our eccentric. Remember to keep the collarbones and shoulders level. Oftentimes I see people drop the side that they're working to help leverage that band. Keep your torso square and imagine your arm bone is corkscrewing up into the shoulder socket. From behind, you can see there's not a lot of movement in the shoulder blade. It's mostly that upper arm bone that's twisting in the socket. The target muscle is on the back of the shoulder blade right about here, so you can see that engage and release. Once you do your outside arm, the arm furthest from the anchor, we're going to go to your inside hand. As we go into our internal rotation, we're going to again take a towel or sock underneath that elbow. And now I'm going to start with my hand about 45 degrees away from neutral. If this is neutral, hand in line with elbow, in line with shoulder, I'm going to start out here with no tension, and then I'm going to pull and get tension by the time it gets to about my belly button. So I'm going to let my arm resist open, pull into the tension, pause, and resist back. So internal rotation, I'm rotating my upper arm bone towards the midline. So here you can see the inside of my arm. Now as I go across, I've rotated, and now you can see more of the outside of my arms. You can think of you're plugging this arm bone into the socket as you pull across, feel that encapsulation of the muscle, and then resist it back. Remember to keep the collarbones and shoulders level. Avoid rounding your shoulder forward to pull the band. Keep that collarbone open as you press your hand towards the midline. This exercise targets the pectorals in the front and the subscapularis in the back. The subscapularis is a muscle that goes between the rib cage and the shoulder blade to help keep that shoulder blade smoothly in contact with the rib cage. So as you pull your hand towards the midline, avoid feeling like the inside border or bottom point of the shoulder blade poke out. Keep your shoulder blade smooth against your rib cage the entire time. Our next movement is abduction. It's moving my upper arm away from my midline or away from my side. So as I pull the band, I'm going to let my elbow nudge out to the side and come back in. So I nickname this one Nudge your neighbor. Imagine you're standing in a line with somebody and you want to kind of just nudge them to get their attention, and then you're going to come back. So my arm is only going to go so far. If my arm was straight, it's really only going to go about 30 degrees. I'm not trying to get to 90 here or get my arm all the way up here. I'm really just trying to target the rotator cuff, which is only responsible for about the first 30 degrees or so. So go ahead and keep it small. You need enough tension that by the time you get to that 30 degrees, it feels like something. Avoid pulling your elbow behind you or too far to the front. Pull your elbow to the side in line with your ear. Remember to keep your torso square, shoulders and collarbones level, and as you pull the elbow, avoid leaning into it or leaning away to pull the band. Let just the upper arm bone move from your side and return to the starting position. If you're feeling it in your bicep, you might be bending the elbow to pull it up. Instead, think of your elbow pushing down and away to slide across. So we had abduction, which is pulling away from the midline, and now we have adduction. It's going to be pressing my hand across the midline. This one I nickname rub your belly. So I'm going to start with my hand kind of right to the side of my abdomen, and I'm just going to rub across the front of me, trying to get my elbow basically underneath that shoulder joint. Now here on the way open, I'm going to resist open so I feel the work in both directions. Keep the action small. Your hand might get just to your belly button or across the abdomen till the elbow comes under the shoulder, but you'll only press to the midline as far as you can keep the collarbone wide and the shoulder blades smooth on your back behind you. To recap, we have external rotation, which is rotating my outside arm away from my midline. Internal rotation, which is rotating my inside arm towards my midline. Then we have abduction. My outside elbow pulls the band away from my midline. And we have adduction, pulling with my inside arm towards my midline. Once you do all four facing one direction, you'll turn around and do all four facing the other direction with the anchor to the other side of you. So if you start with the anchor or the band tied next to your left side of your body, then you'll want to turn around and have that anchor on the right side of the body so that we get all of the movements on both arms. You can do all of these exercises seated or kneeling if your anchor point requires that. Just make sure that your spine is neutral and you're in good posture. We don't want to be doing this in a slouched position. Aim to do 6 to 10 reps of each exercise. For these exercises, it's all about quality over quantity. So don't push yourself if you're breaking form.